really simple use case for that we're involved in every day here at Commvault is building a cyber recovery plan. The cyber recovery plan needs those traditional infrastructure folk, that's really backup and recovery and data protection, but it also needs forensics, so we know where the clean data is. That's traditionally a security job. It needs DevOps in terms of some of the functions that you were mentioning there. So again, a good use case for building a workshop is what does a cyber recovery plan look like? How are we all going to contribute to that? What is that team going to look like?
Well, it would be great if more companies had a cyber recovery plan because frankly, I think many of them do, but it's one of those things where, I guess a secret of the industry is that most people don't really believe it's going to work. I think that they hope it would work. I think that they hope that it would meet the needs of the business, but in many cases, they really don't have that kind of confidence in it. But having that kind of workshop where you're sitting people down across those artificial divides between the different parts of IT could lead us to a position where we might actually have a cyber resilience plan that might actually have some hope of actually bringing the data back in the event of a breach.
Yeah, interesting. And one of the other things we've been working on is how do you measure that? So traditionally, that InfraOps team, they were talking RTO, RPO. Security teams are probably more interested in root cause analysis. Almost all of that and none of it matters in a cyber recovery plan. What actually matters is how quickly can the business bounce back? When do we get clean data that we can rely on back for our minimal viable company as quickly as possible? I was recently personally involved in writing a paper around this concept of mean time to clean recovery. I don't know if that's going to end up being the metric, but it's at least moving in the right direction and thinking about this. What are your thoughts around metrics? Have you come across any others that could be useful in this area?
Well, not particularly, but I do like the idea of clean recovery because essentially, again, we're sort of addressing the elephant in the room, which is that in many cases we don't have a clean data set.
Right.
Sure, we can recover back to X period in time, but is that actually clean data? And also, importantly, another thing that I've been looking at is it's often not all of the data that needs to be rolled back to that point in time. How do we handle a use case where we have a large data set, a bit of it has been corrupted or encrypted or deleted or whatever, and the rest of it is still clean? How do we adjust to that world?
Yes.
And I think that if we have more of an approach toward treating the data a little bit more granularly, then it'll allow us to have a better recovery than if you're just sort of rolling the entire company back to a point in time. Because if you roll it back to this point in time and it's still corrupted, then you're going to roll it back more and roll it back more. Well, you're going to naturally be losing data at that point.
Right.
And we definitely don't want to be doing that.
Yes.